Oh, I see the red box. Oh, the red box. It's not danger. Doesn't mean stop. Not in this game. It means go. Fabian perspective, expect the show accepting. Deja un like, comentario y suscribe. Dame dato. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Stop playing games. Curse me out in the comments. Tell me what you want to tell me. I'm here, baby. I am here. Knicks Rehab. The Knicks Rehab friends may join us. They may not. You know how this goes. I drink my coffee. I'm drinking some coffee. Do we have any notes? If you guys have anything that you want to talk about, shoot it in the comments. I'll go to it live if you want. At this very moment, though, I wanted to start off with the indecent. The indecents. Well, I'm something decent. I'm sorry. The OG Anunoby update of his surgery.
Malika, he's going to miss certainly the remaining games between now and the All-Star break. That'll be 9 total before the All-Star break begins on the 15th for the Knicks. But I'm told to expect it's going to be about 3 weeks from his surgery on that right elbow on Thursday when he'll be able to resume basketball activities and start working his way back. And I think for OG Anunoby, listen, New York, they won 12 of their first 14 games after his arrival. You know, he had shown really to be the best defender in the league during that period. And now bringing in Bogdanovich, Alec Burks, 2 players who can assume starting roles with these injuries and then settle into bench roles later in the season into the playoffs. Bogdanovich has a really strong playoff history, certainly particularly in Utah. These are players who've been in the postseason. New York went into the trade deadline hoping to get one of the 2, saw the opportunity to get both, and did so without having to give up one of their first-round picks. And so certainly for New York, a trade deadline where they can bolster themselves in the short term with depth and then really help their bench later in the season when they're going to have Randall, Anunoby, the rest of their group back.
I think
Before Stephen A. Smith goes, he's gonna say a bunch of nothing, or probably lie, or whatever he's gonna do. That was the news on OG Anunoby last Thursday. So this is before the last game they played against the Pacers. So you see, the way it set ablaze on Twitter was that basically Woj is confirming that the surgery was on Thursday. He tried to word that in a way where it was a little more incognito. But Woj, you're in the crib. You probably got your drawers on, with the shirt and tie. Not that that's any of my business. I don't care. I really don't care. I just noticed that your hairline is crazy in the crib. None of my business. My hairline isn't the greatest. Not the greatest. But, and I'm in the crib. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Wojnowski, big Woj bombs. He confirmed that, or to us, conspiracy Nick guys, that OG Anunoby's surgery was Thursday instead of earlier in the week. And of course, a lot of us think that, or believe, it's easy to believe that the OG Anunoby surgery or the news of this surgery was delayed to not interfere with the negotiations of a Bogdanovich, Alec Burks, or anyone else that the Knicks may have had on the table. Because of course, if you are without your small forward and you say, hey, he isn't going to miss that much time, or whatever the case may be, the other team can say, you're a little desperate to get this player so I can put more behind this. But that is Knicks fan fodder. That's fan fodder in general. We don't know. Of course, it's all speculation, which is mostly what any sort of basketball talk is nowadays. It's just a bunch of gossip and speculation. It's kind of fun. It's kind of always been that way, but the professionals now copy us. If you notice, everyone up here probably has a YouTube channel. And yeah, that was pretty much it. But now we continue with this video.
Woj needs to stay at home more, do the show from home more, because that's the first time he ever did the show, giving me good news, giving me very, very good news. He's usually giving me very bad news here in person.
Now, why is that good news? Why is that very good news, Steven?
But he gave me good news this time. I like what Woj is saying.
Woj,
Beautiful
thank
thing.
you.
Way to go.
Thank you so much.
Good. I will stay here. That works.
But he just finished saying, this is, I don't know, I don't even know who they. I believe Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, they already mastered the art of looking on Twitter, looking at the ratings, and see how often they're mentioned. And I believe he gets mentioned a lot more when he mentions the Knicks. Stephen A. Smith. ESPN is probably going to do that as well. They know that. Some of you guys accuse us of just popping out of nowhere with our Knicks podcast. It's not true because you guys always loved our New York stuff. But that's part of the reason why he just says anything about the Knicks. We just did a video a couple of days ago about how about Stephen A. Smith was saying this was not a big deal that we got Bogdanovich, that we got Alec Burks. He doubled down by saying if Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle came back, yeah, that would help, but it's not a big deal. It's not such big news. Of course, because there's no superstar. There's nothing great going on, which was the point of this video that I wanted to watch. I forgot about what Stephen A. Smith was saying. I really wanted to focus on what Bob Myers was saying because Bob Myers is the guy in this clip. I seen other YouTube accounts talking about it, but I wanted to talk about it since a couple of days ago, since I saw it. I'm just getting to it now. Bob Myers is the one I wanted to get to in this video.
He will give the news from there. Stephen A. is thrilled with this. Bob, what do you make of the deadline moves the Knicks have made?
I think the Knicks are the Pelicans of the East.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Very deep. A lot of good players. Lacking greatness. Jalen Brunson, I'd say, is hovering around greatness. After that, who are you going to convince me of? I'm not going to. I'm sorry. Players. A lot of good players. Very.
So I'm rewinding that just so I can read. I want to listen to it again. Right? I can't expect Stephen A. Smith to fight that comment. He just made the same exact comment a couple of days ago, right? I think Michael Wilbon responds. By the way, it's funny how Malika Andrews has stayed out of controversy lately. I don't think she likes the controversy. Wink, wink. Bob Myers said there's nothing great about us except for Brunson. Those are his words. There's nothing great about the Knicks except for Brunson. So it's our job to look for Bob Myers' words on Jalen Brunson prior to, right? We have to find, if you guys see one in there, we'll find one, but that's what we'll look for next. What did Bob Myers say about Jalen Brunson's superstardom? Because I'm pretty sure he agreed with Becky Hammond. That's my thing.
Very deep. A lot of good players. Lacking greatness. Jalen Brunson, I'd say, is hovering around greatness. After that, who are you going to convince me of? I'm not going to. I'm sorry. I like Julius Randle. I think he's a good player. He's not a great player. Same as the Pelicans. Zion Williamson. Let's see what he can do in the playoffs. Brandon Ingram. Those two teams, I think, are the deepest teams. Now, the Celtics, 1-6, but 1-9 or 10, this Knicks team, that's fantastic. But when you get to the playoffs, it's not about the 9th or 10th guy. You know when the Warriors were winning championships, you know what our bench scoring was? 27th in the league, 28th in the league, 29th in the league. You know who scored? The guy making $40 million, the guy making $30 million.
Yeah, but what about minutes played?
Yeah, your complaint about Thibodeau with the 40 minutes the regular season, Kerr didn't do that stuff. Yeah, but we were okay there. But since the one place I may push back.
The first thing Stephen A. brings up is minutes played. Minutes played. Yeah, we talk about that. But you didn't argue anything with Bob Myers. And I see Michael Wilbon about to try to argue that. You guys, I don't even want to steal your thunder. Walter White, OG is a great defender. Mitch Ihart are great rebounders. Those are the first two things that stood out to me, right? Clearly, Bob Myers doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Once again, Mitchell Robinson, maybe the greatest offensive rebounder in the game. He was a work in progress in the league in general. He's always very thankful about where he is in life. Thanks to the Knicks all the time because of it. I don't know what he says about Thibodeau a lot, but I know he makes fun of him. They all make fun of Thibodeau, which is always funny. Mitchell Robinson single-handedly undressed the Cavaliers last year in the playoffs. He goes down with an ankle injury, and we think, all right, we're going to take a step back or two. Let's see what we can do. Hartenstein can fill in and do somewhat of a good job. Isaiah Hartenstein goes on to go nuts and bananas and becomes a great rebounder himself. So when we say great, what does great mean to these people? What where is the what OG Anunoby got here and we went 14-2. Yes, Ihart is a great passer for a big man for what he does, but I just want to I don't want to stretch anything, Bodega Mayor, Bodega Mayor. I don't want to stretch anything, no disrespect. Bob Myers should be ashamed of himself. I'm glad he wasn't didn't become our general manager. Bob Myers, you know who wasn't really great? You're a full-time sucker. You talk about this bench, this miracle bench, before I even look up these stats. This miracle bench that you guys never had. You were 27th in the league in the bench. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe you didn't need a bench when you stole 20% of your rivals' offense and game in general. Kevin Durant was up 3-1 against you guys. You guys had your own miracle 3-1 comeback before LeBron did it to you guys in the following series in 2015, whenever it happened. Who the hell needs a bench when you have Steph Curry and Kevin Durant? The two premier players alongside LeBron James, right behind LeBron James. Not James Harden, like everybody likes to claim. Giannis was too young and frail back then. Joker wasn't around back then. Kawhi wasn't really coming to his own. But had we looked under the microscope a little better, he might have been up there with these guys, in my opinion. Two-way player affects the game ridiculously in his prime, at his peak. But we're not talking about him. We're talking about Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. The two top guys. You're comparing the Knicks to stealing Kevin Durant. That's like us stealing Jimmy Butler out of nowhere. Or Jason Tatum. We just go, yo, Jason, why don't you come over here real quick, man? We got something for you. So you weaken your opponent totally, and all of a sudden you think you got that much better. You did this great job. Bob Myers, you bum. Where were you at this season when the Warriors had to finish the dynasty? Jerry Krause didn't run with the Bulls. Michael Jordan kind of retired and ran on the low. Nobody wants to admit that. Phil Jackson, he said Phil Jackson about to be fired. I don't care. Jerry Krause is a lunatic. He ended the dynasty on his own. Lunatic. Bob Myers, you were too scared to even make that decision. You ran like a chump and took a bag of money from ESPN that was waiting for you anyway. I don't care if you played at UCLA with Tyus Edney or these guys. I know you played ball. I don't care. You're talking about the Knicks. You better come at us correct. When you come at the king, you best not miss. Now let's get to these supposed bench stats. What the hell is Bob Myers talking about? So number one in the league right now is the Pacers, right? The teams with the best benches. To Bob Myers' point, the only team with 30 wins with the best bench is the Pacers. And I think that's Bob Myers' point, somewhat of his point, but he went too far. Right? The Pacers, the Jazz, the Warriors, ironically, are number 3 in the league with the third best bench in the league, and they are not going to sniff the playoffs. What an irony, because you couldn't sniff out another superstar from a different team. You couldn't steal another one. So guess what? You're forced to play your whack bench that's scoring the third most points in the league. Orlando Magic. They're right there. They're the best team out of this bunch, probably. More balanced in the top 10. And then the Mavericks are ninth. The Mavericks, they've stepped up to be the most scariest team in the league, in my opinion. Forget what you heard. It's the Mavericks. I'll work on them later, but we'll go back these years too. Let me see, 23, 24. Let's see last season. Again, the Pacers, the Lakers, top 4. Clippers, top 3. They won 44 games. Thunder, Kings, Magic round out the top 10 from last season. So again, to Bob Myers' point, being this high on the list in with a bench doesn't matter. Clippers, 4th best. That was the best team in the top 10. Oh no, here we go. The Jazz, a couple years back. Yeah. Can we go back to the Bulls? How about, this goes back to the Bulls, 96, 97. The Bulls had the 5th best bench. Different era, right? Look, 69 win team. They won 69 games that year. Watch your mouth. And the Sonics won 57 games. Both the finals contenders were in the top 10 in bench scoring in the following season. The finalists, both finalists in 96, 97 of the previous year were in the top 10. But the Jazz, oh look, and the Jazz, so they, in this era in the 90s, it looks like the bench did matter. Would you look at that? The Bulls were not top 10, 97, 98. That didn't matter. Were the Jazz in there? Nope. So maybe this whole bench thing is overrated, as Bob Myers would say. The bench is for bad teams, as we're learning right now. Good for you, Bob. You still should never speak about us again. You should never compare the Knicks and what you did in Golden State. You were very lucky. You're just lucky. You were going to trade Klay Thompson for Kevin Love and try to take some other superstar who wasn't really a superstar. He was on the fence and would have ruined that dynasty. But please, you don't see anything great. We know what's great. Take some time out, watch the game. Stephen A. Smith, another fraud. You know what? Let me finish that video. I'm sorry. Because Michael Wilbon was trying to cook, and I didn't let him cook.
Back is Jalen Brunson.
What did I say?
I know,
say
but
great. You're going great.
But he's having a great
Yes,
season.
he is.
And so I'm looking at this Knicks team in the way I looked at a couple of Pistons teams. The 2004 team, among them, a team that's got an ensemble with a player leading the way, having a great season that just push harder than the others. And I'm not saying New Orleans can't push. The other thing is the West is so much harder than the East. The Knicks don't have to navigate the West.
Really quick, Rasheed Wallace was one of the best 10 players in the NBA on that Pistons. He just didn't act like it. That's all I got.
I'm not sure Rasheed Wallace was a top 10 player back then. Bob Myers trying to throw a little cackle joke in there. Yeah, he was a top 10 talent, top 3 talent. Rasheed Wallace, he was amazing, and that kid's kind of again overlooked. Those Pistons teams, nobody says nobody was great. Ben Wallace was great. Ben Wallace was the greatest defensive player back then. He was the greatest defensive player back then. In that era, the early 2000s, Ben Wallace is the best defensive player around. It's the end of Mutombo's career. I think Mourning's career is floundering. Ben Wallace is, what we need from Mitch and OG Anunoby is our Ben Wallace. Get to some of these comments. Mitch Iheart are great rebounders. Yep, like you said earlier. I know health is a question, but the Clippers are scary. That's really what they don't scare me though. I'm not scared of the Clippers. I know what to expect from them. They're playing they're playing within expectations as a team with that many former superstars, tail end of their career superstars. Kawhi Brown still got something left in the tank superstar. I'm not impressed by this at all. I don't care if they have the best record since December. Their testament has to be the playoffs at this point. It's great. I think James Harden pulled through. They almost lost to Detroit the other day, who's throwing their own parade with after getting rid of all those players. But Detroit, I'm sorry, the Clippers to me are not as balanced as what the Mavericks just like. I think people are really sleeping on this Mavericks thing. Luka Doncic, who's another, I got to put him on the front runner list. When things are going good, I think he still cries to the ref. I think he cries no matter what. But when things are going good, he's, skipping around, smiling a lot. And when they're not, he's crying. He's crying and it's disgusting. But they look crazy. You got, like, Walter White, what's going on? That's a dope name, by the way. Lieutenant, how do you say your name? Lieutenant LX619. I see you here all the time, bro. Appreciate you showing love in the comments. Because that statement I was about to make about the Mavericks leads to your question. From where we are with the assets we got, what plans of action would you execute to better the Knicks for the next season? See, the Mavericks just did exactly what I wanted. If y'all been paying attention to me, I've been talking a lot about Herb Jones. I'm starting to reel back on that because I saw what he did against the Lakers the other day. I was disgusted, and it wasn't the first time I saw it. The reason why he shoots that many 3-pointers from that corner is because he does nothing but stand there. What I wanted the Knicks to do was get Gafford and shore up what may be so pivotal for us, a position on the court at all times, the center position, to rebound, offensive rebound. We should have got Daniel Gafford. I don't think the Mavericks lost much. I mean, I think it was next year's pick, but I can't, from the reports, it was confusing. It was either the Mavericks 2024 pick or the OKC Thunder's 2024 pick. And for me, it's like, what does that mean? There's not too much stock on anybody's 2024 pick. And Gafford shores up where Isaiah Hartenstein is soaring, where Mitchell Robinson is currently soaring. They're both, they're hurt in their lower bodies, ankle, Achilles areas. Is it a coincidence? Maybe. Tom Thibodeau will tell you that. He might chuckle and giggle and be sarcastic. By the way, Greg Popovich, head coach in New York, none of that would be fun if he wasn't winning. He's kind of disgusting when he responds to questions. I would not have fun. If I was a reporter, I would try to make it my business to ruin his day. Tom Thibodeau, I'm not sure, going back to the point, I'm not sure if Isaiah Hartenstein's Achilles, which is sore, and Mitchell Robinson's ankle, which he has surgery on, have anything to do with, I know it could be minor injuries, but these are tall guys trying to offensive rebound every second of every offensive possession. Their job is to really extend the clock. They want to spend time on offense. That's the game plan. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. Also, Gafford was the guy I wanted. Latin Lux 619. I wanted to do what Dallas did. Dallas just shored up their center spot with Derek Lively, who just he broke his nose. I forgot, somebody explained to me how, but he broke Derek Lively, the center that the Dallas Mavericks drafted last year, rookie, really good. He's starting to look a lot taller than before. I think he's starting to actually stand up more and not crouch. That shows a sign of either, he's been working out, he's getting in better shape, or he's not as timid, right? But maybe I'm bugging, but in the first half of the season, he looked way more timid, but you can see a lot of his potential. He's killing. but he's been missing a lot of games, right? Maybe it's a rookie wall, maybe it's a theme. The Dallas Mavericks went and got Daniel Gafford, who's big time. I've seen him before. It's not just bad team, great numbers for Daniel Gafford. He comes out of nowhere and block shots. Big shoulders, skinny dude with broad shoulders. Like he's like a tall Rondo. He looks like a tall Rondo in terms of stature. A slim Dwight Howard. Like this, his shoulders just stand out. Looks like he's wearing shoulder pads. Blocks a lot of shots. Can yam it on you. So that Tyson Chandler role, it gets extended to a bench guy now. And when Derek Lively sits out and misses games, Gafford is there to replace him. So now when you have two of those guys, you never miss a beat. So if you have Derek, you start off with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving and Derek Lively. If Kyrie takes a break, it's Luka Doncic and Derek Lively or Gafford or Kyrie Irving and Gafford, right? I doubt we'll see much of a Derek Lively Gafford lineup because they really don't operate outside the paint. I haven't seen any shooting from Gafford like that. I thought I saw Derek Lively trying to start shooting those 8-footers, but that's what I want the Knicks to do is go after players who fit Tom Thibodeau's system. I was big on Herb Jones, Latin LX, but Mikal Bridges is gonna be the guy because if you need to go after a defender, bro. Look with the Rockets. We got to sneak maybe somebody from the Rockets who are about to play today. We'll get to that in a second for a couple minutes. I don't know if you guys have any questions about the Rockets, but I think that's how we show it. Mikal Bridges is a must at this point. Peace, Harmony. Peace, Carla. Bones, what up? I think Mikal Bridges is a must at this point because he fits Tom Thibodeau's system. You want to give him players that he cannot refuse, right? Like that's what Leon wrote. Got to give him the players that he cannot refuse, bro. That's why Bogdanovich and Burks, you got them in there. They have to play now because you agreed to this, Tibbs. No way you didn't agree to Bogdanovich. He scores 20 a game. I saw people comparing Bogdanovich to Fournier. There's no way Fournier is scoring 20 a game on the Jazz and all these other teams like this. Fournier needs other people to help him out. He's not scoring 20 a game. Come on. Why would you compare Bogdanovich to Fournier, guys? Y'all are wrong. Dead wrong. What is Fournier average for his career? Fournier averages 4 points a game. Oh, then again, Fournier did average 18, 15, 17. I forgot about those years. He averaged 19 one year also. I stand corrected. But nah, I don't stand corrected. He averages 14 for his career. Bogdanovich averages like 18 for his career. Right? Bogdanovich averages 15 for his career. Okay, wow. All the Bogdanovich, Fournier, all the comparisons true. Damn. 19-9, his first game for Dallas. Daniel Gafford, right? Telling you, man. Bohan is tougher than Fournier. He's just defensively inefficient. Well, they both are. You ain't telling me nothing, Walter. You make me more nervous. But for some reason, he just didn't. He's 6'7" and bigger body. I think we can see him. It's not a shocker if Bohan falls out of the rotation, but I think they made that move while speaking to Tibbs. Like you got Bohan along with Alec Burke, so you got a shooter along with Alec. You got Alec Burke's back, and that's Tibbs' guy. He can run his offense. So that was like a joint venture. Joint venture is crazy. Let's get to these Rockets and Knicks. Let's get to these Rockets and Knicks. So the Rockets are at home versus our beloved New York Knickerbockers. they are favored on some of these gambling degenerate sites like FanDuel. They have the Rockets favored by +3. You see Caesar Sportsbook +2.5, +3 Bet365, +3 DraftKings, +2.5 by BetMGM. So they're all like the opposing teams are going to take the money now because we're down, we're hurt, but the Rockets are a different team at home than on the road. They just, if they played every game at home, they'd be top 14 in the West. So far, the Knicks have to get, of course, the next man up mentality. We have more soldiers on deck for that. DiVincenzo slowed down. Hopefully he rested the last couple games. Remember, he was jacking up 15 3-pointers a clip every game. He was shooting pretty well, but it's still 15 3-pointers a game is not what we want to see from him. We don't have our guys to offensive rebound to help out DiVincenzo on those misses, and then of course that creates some crazy defense. At least it used to. Like that used to be the theme for the NBA. Call me the old man in the room if you want. If you shot the long ball, it led to long rebounds. But now they don't care. I just saw something that they said that they rather you shoot 3-pointers so you can get offensive rebounds. I just don't believe that. I gotta look that up. Maybe you guys can send me something. I don't believe nobody. And the Rockets, of course, they haven't looked great. They haven't looked great as of late. They never look great on the road. They haven't looked great on the road. And of course, the rumored to be Nick.
Green spinning. Oh my goodness! Forceful, thunderous. Green spinning. Oh my goodness! Forceful, thunderous.
I hope we didn't want that over here in New York City with DeJounte Murray. You get out of here, Jalen Green. DeJounte Murray. Stay over in Atlanta with that disgusting defense. Jalen Green, you yammed it on you. And it is, of course, a personal game with Gilbert Arenas. Monkey, you know what? Said Jalen Green. We have no superstars on the Knicks, and Jalen Green is a superstar. According to my guy Flea, Knicks Rehab family, he feels Jalen Green has gotten better this year. Polished his game up a little bit. Pause. And a move like that he wouldn't have been able to make last year. As a matter of fact, like John Morant struggles to make moves like that because he's not as strong. But he's not. He's always, especially like John Morant, like first 3, 4, 5, first 2 seasons in the league. John Morant would try to take off from the 3-point line. He just found some space and he just jump in the air. Jalen Green was very intentional about just setting up DeJounte Murray, who has been rumored to play less tougher defense this year. Cursed some fan out on Instagram. Cursed him out saying, yo, you don't even watch the tape. Well, we saw that, buddy. There's a reference plug. Pause. DeJounte. What a name, by the way. I like his name, DeJounte. But I think the Rockets, let's look at some stats, man. What else we going to do but look at some stats? I think my voice is kind of cracking, but I needed my let's go to the stats music. All righty. Well, let's go to the traditional stats. Is traditional stats, right? Points per game. The Knicks. This is for the season. We're in the middle of the pack, number 15. The Rockets are probably, let's say, bottom 5. Let's say I'm wrong, and the Rockets are bottom 9. Right now, we got to go for the last. You know what I want to do? The last 5 games without our boy. OG, where you at, man? We miss you, man. We miss you. The Hawks are tearing the floor up, tearing the league up at 3-2 record. Dallas is 4-1. They round out the top 5, or they're top to the top 5. Bottom of the league in scoring the last 5 games. Grizzlies, Spurs, Hornets, Blazers, the Heat. All are combined. Jesus Christ, like 5 and 15 or 20. You guys stink. The Knicks, 22nd in the league in scoring, and the Rockets are 17th. So the Rockets are the middle of the pack. The Knicks, the last 5 games have been at 111 points. We're 2-3. We lost the last 2 games. We got to bounce back. Boss man, what's going on? We got to bounce back, people. Let's see. Where is the standings, right? Let's go to the standings real quick. Let's go to the videotape. Of course, the Knicks now in 4th place. 3 games behind the Cleveland, who's they're on a rocket shit, man. Cleveland's getting their players back. They're getting healthy, and they're just. I believe the key from any little tape that I've been watching. I don't know if you guys been watching some tape. Dime Droppers in the building. What's going on? You can maybe put what you witnessed with the Cavaliers when they beat you down, your guys down and over there in LA with the Clippers. The only difference I see is that Jarrett Allen pushed Ben Simmons, but then he looked like a chump when Ben Simmons pushed him to the ground, right? But he's at least fighting back. And for me, the number one thing with Cleveland is they've learned how to stagger the Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland minutes. And I think that's going to be key because it's tough with the 2 small guys in the lineup. But at least you can tell there's a difference with Donovan Mitchell with the explosion, the explosiveness when he's on the court compared to Garland. It just is what it is. I'm wondering if you eventually make him more of a 6-man Garland. People don't want to hear this. They think I'm crazy. Or they're going to play the fake 6-man role, have Garland start with the team, and then he plays with the second unit anyway by the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter. That's the fake 6-man role I noticed in the league. These guys think they're slick. You're not slick anymore, guys. You did it with RJ Barrett. It started there first, like, wait a minute. But why is he playing with the second unit all the time if he's not a 6-man or a bench player? You want him to get his numbers. I get all that. But Garland is going to do that because Donovan Mitchell could get his numbers versus any lineup, it seems like. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. He's a 6'2", 6'3". If he was 3 inches taller, he'd be crazy too. We always talk about people being whatever height. They're playing amazing right now. 3 games ahead of the Bucks in the loss column. Listen, the Bucks are not a standard anymore. They're no longer. It'll be impressive. We got to start talking about how far have the Bucks fallen every game. That's the countdown. Not that they're 3 games ahead of the Bucks. No, the Bucks are 3 games behind the Cavaliers. They're behind. They're trailing everyone in chemistry and team talent, coaching, everything. Culture about that team is trailing the rest of the East. Ain't nobody ahead of the Bucks. These guys ain't worried about no damn Bucks, especially when they get paid that much money. But they really defend, man, and added some solid role guys, like we said preseason. And like you said, Dom, it's the second year with Donovan Mitchell and Garland, way different than the first year. You've been down this road already. Hey, you guys don't fit quite. They have a smaller version, again, what we had with RJ and Julius Randle, but they have a better version, obviously, because Mitchell and Garland are both better in talent-wise compared to RJ and Julius Randle. They have a smaller version of the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown over there on Boston. when two guys kind of they need the ball in their hands and they got a second year with them, you kind of figure out who wants what lineup works. Yeah. So, damn you, Cleveland. I was talking about the Rockets and the Knicks. We are 4 games officially behind. I don't look at this because I don't expect the season to end right now. We have 20 losses. The Cavaliers have 16. And the Rockets are in the play still, or where are they? Oh, Rockets. They're playing for the number 1 pick now. Interesting. Their home record is 18-9, and they are 5-20 on the road. So you see, like they just total flip flop. Imagine if they played every game at home, they'd be what 36-16, 36-18. 18 losses will put them right here, top 4 in the West. I said that earlier, and I was guessing. Mind blown. So yeah, in the last, they're 3-7 in their last 10 games. The Rockets, they lost their last 4. The Knicks are 7-3 in their last 10, lost our last 2, like we said earlier. And yeah, so I expect it to be competitive. I want to see Jalen Green out there because I want Gilbert Arenas to watch this game and tell me whether or not he's a star for real. Because he called him a superstar. We're gonna hold you to it, Jalen Green, just like we held Bob Myers to it. I don't know if you got to watch the clip earlier or some tape earlier, Dime, but you're gonna laugh. Bob Myers ran from the grind. Pause. I will post that clip up later for you guys to rewatch because I know 41 minutes of me. You have to really love me and know me to watch me for 41 minutes. And I love you and I really know you guys. If you watch me for 41 minutes, Jesus Christ. 25 people in the building. I need some bombs to go off. I need like real bombs to go off, like grenade bombs or something. 29 people in the building. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But I gotta run, man. I got daddy duty to do. Fabian PerspecTV, so accepted. Deja un like, comentario, suscribe. Dame dato. Like, comment, subscribe, share. What do you call that? The chat, super chat, membership. We do this for you guys. Yeah, I don't mind talking to myself a little bit like a lunatic, because that's what this really feels like when you're in a room like this with a light like this. What's the difference between this? I don't want to say jail right now. I don't want to compare it to jail. No disrespect. But what is the difference? I got a camera in front of me. I probably would. That was crazy. I was going to say I'll probably do better from jail. This is when Flea would say, Fabe, it's time to sign off. Knicks Rehab. Share, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for you guys for joining in. Next time it might be tomorrow. No, tomorrow no show. I'm wasted tomorrow. Wasted. Let's enjoy this Rockets game tonight versus the Knicks. See if we can pull this through. Root for our road dogs. Sayonara.